say it right now, cause you don't have another day. Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound. And I keep thinking of the night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and then we got real blue. Stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves thinking life's not fair.
Daniel Cavallo, Rafal Dawkowski, Patricia D'Ambrosio, Lori Dunn, Aaron Hogan, Jeff Hoover, Emma Hyatt, Amber Pashis, Melanie Patley, Matthew Paziak, Christina Reed, Crystal Robertson, Michael Ross, Robert Ross, Andrea Ruzzo, Betty Rittiger, Joseph Sanchez, Mary Schneider, Brendan Simonson, Mateus Slowakowski.
And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will our jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with your tan? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Will we think about tomorrow like we think about now? Can we survive it out there? Can we make it somehow? I guess I thought that this would never end, and suddenly it's like we're women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. I keep on thinking it's our time to fly. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever,
Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. I know I'm a walking cliche, aren't I? Good afternoon to Ms. Cervoni, Mr. Larkin, Mrs. Tabor, the faculty of Monsignor Paul Dwyer, distinguished guests, families, and to my fellow graduates. A great man once said, "I can't believe it. Reading and writing actually paid off." That man was Homer Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all living proof that this statement is valid. I am honored to stand here before you today as the representative for Paul Dwyer's graduating class of 2003. I am overwhelmed with a sense of pride because I am incredibly privileged to be a part of this very special group of individuals. Now, I've been contemplating what to do with this speech for a countless number of hours. At one point, being the crazy arts student that I am, I think I turned it into a short musical. But then I realized I still wanted people to like me afterwards, so I kind of ditched that idea. To be honest though, this is one of the most difficult tasks of my life. It's very hard to be the voice of such a large group of people when being a Dwyer student means so many different things to every one of us. For some it may mean athletics, for others it may mean the hassles of shopping for a new outfit on non-uniform day. And perhaps there are a handful of you here who have actually come to appreciate the superior academic programs that we here at Dwyer produce. Personally though, I will always take with me the memories of Dwyer's arts productions, McCarthy uniforms, and my mother somehow working her way into the curriculum. Ultimately though, I know this. Paul Dwyer is synonymous with the many friendships that we have made and the epitome of a high school experience. As Muhammad Ali once said, "Friendship is the hardest thing in the world to explain. It's not something that you can learn about in school, but if you haven't learned the meaning of friendship yet, you really haven't learned anything." We are a unique group of graduates. We have struggled with the competition that has stemmed from the double cohort. I would like to commend every single individual sitting up here today for rising to the challenge and striving for academic success. This has been an extremely competitive year. I think that the cafeteria made millions of dollars from all our extensive extra-large coffee purchases after all-nighters from studying or rushing to complete several different assignments. We have prevailed, though, and proved that we are the best of the best. We each arrived here in September of 1998, wide-eyed, eager, and thirsting for a taste of a high school experience. I can still remember walking in those large front doors, guilt down to my knees, dress shoes freshly polished, shirt tucked in. Actually, sadly, not much of that's changed for me. I still can't break the uniform rules, as most of you know. But I have noticed changes in others. Stefan Schweida, for instance, has become progressively more opinionated over the years. It hasn't always been a bad thing, Stefan, not always. Mick Sullivan, he has matured into a strapping young crocodile hunter lookalike, which is a good thing. And Mary Schneider actually began speaking to her father in the hallways. Recently, I was outside in the garden with my dad. He was pruning one of the many shrubs that decorate our backyard. I asked him why he had to trim the branches so precisely. He said, "Well, some grow faster than others, some grow slower, some die more quickly, some are more prone to disease. I've got to keep this shrub in check. It's the roots, though. None of this would even exist if it didn't have strong roots." Now, I pondered our conversation for a while, and yes, this is a metaphor, guys. Paul Dwyer is that shrub in our backyard. Some of us have matured a little more quickly than others. Some have been more vulnerable to everyday peer pressures. And it's been up to our gardeners, our family, friends, and the faculty to keep us in check. But no matter how far any single one of us goes, or in which direction, we are all ultimately rooted here in Dwyer and in each other. As of right now, we are at the very precipice of our young lives, and already the past 5 years are fading into some wonderful memory. I hope that when each of us look back at these 5 amazing years, we do not remember the petty concerns, the bad hair days, Lord knows I've had a few, or the few low test scores here and there. Instead, my hope for everyone is to remember how we grew as individuals, how in 5 years we transformed from children into adults. Okay, now come the thank yous. Firstly, I would like to thank God for giving us the spiritual guidance to make the right decisions, most of the time, and for giving us the conscience to understand when we've made a mistake. Thank you, God, for giving us all such fortitude to overcome the many obstacles that we have faced over these 5 years, and for being an ever-present entity in our young lives. I would like to thank the amazing faculty here at Dwyer for making everyone's experience that much better. Each one of you has had a tremendous impact on at least one of these individuals sitting up here today. You all created an atmosphere where we were free, well, mostly free, to live and learn and grow as people. You taught us so much more than what is in your teacher's manual. You have taught us about growing, changing, living, laughing, loving, emotion, and acceptance. You have taught us about life and about living, and those are not lessons that someone can find in the answers in the back of their textbook. One has to experience them, and we did. We experienced life because of all of you. Thank you. To Ms. LeBrun, you were instrumental in shaping our fragile youth into a confident adulthood. You helped us with the choices that we made, not only as academics, but as human beings. Your spirit, hard work, and dedication will be forever etched on our hearts. Thank you, Ms. LeBrun. To Ms. Cervoni, to Mr. Larkin, Ms. Tabor, and to Mr. Booth. Although you know most of us from our atrocious paper trail of late slips and uniform slips, you have always had our best interests at heart. Thank you for caring so much about our well-being and for making such an effort to stay involved in everyone's life. Thank you for being there to set us straight and to give us praise. Whether you've been here for half a semester or for 3 years, thank you for everything that you've done. You have had a crucial role on our path to maturity. Thank you to you. To my peers, there is not enough that I can say about you. You have made this experience so memorable. I look at you, and I am glad that I have played a role in each person's life, whether large or small, over these past 5 years. You have all made this the most incredible journey of my life, and I wouldn't trade my experiences here for anything. You all have a dear place in my heart, and you mean the world to me. Thank you for everything you've done, guys. And finally, to our families, thank you for your constant support over these 5 years. Thanks for helping us with our math homework, even if you didn't understand it, and for helping us construct various 3D models for all of our ISUs. Thank you for your love. You are the final piece of the puzzle that will shape the rest of our lives. On a personal note, I would like to thank my mother. Mom, I will be happy if I grow up to be half the woman that you are. Thank you for your wisdom wisdom and for your support. And I think the rest of the class appreciates it too, since you're more popular than I am here anyways. So. Okay. All right. Okay, I think it's about time for me to wrap this up. I have a few pieces of advice for everyone and a couple of last words of my own before we all embark on the biggest journey of our lives. Number one, in the words of Jack Handy, before you criticize someone, you should walk a mile in their shoes. That way, when you criticize them, you're a mile away and you have their shoes. Number two, in the words of Gandhi, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. And number three, in the words of George Harrison, the sunset doesn't last all evening. A mind can blow those clouds away. After all this, my love is up and must be leaving. It has not always been this gray. All things must pass. All things must pass away. We entered these doors as strangers, and now we leave as saints. Here's to Paul Dwyer. Here's to the memories. Here's to the rest of our lives. Thank you.
It seems like only yesterday we started, but soon we'll put away our books and pens. We'll go on with our lives once we have parted, but how can we say farewell to our friends? The double days, the parties and the dances, cramming for a midterm until 3.
The football games, the max and the romances.
Soon Bayside will be just a memory. Our 4 years here have all become unraveled, and so our high school story finally ends. But years from now, no matter where we've traveled, we'll all look back and think about our friends. We'll all look back